Hello. That's a shame. Although to be honest, I'm amazed I managed to get through as many successful YouTube streams as I did with my internet. All right, welcome back everyone. Sorry for the disruption. We're learning how to use Mael's battle stances. So defensive stance. Virtuose stance. Switching to a new stance provides. Okay. Offensive, switch, spark, and per se. Yeah, it's a learning experience, you know? We're getting somewhere. Spark and per se switch to her defensive stance. Use offensive switch. Okay. Use offensive switch. So now she's offensive. The curator attacks the expedition. Defenseless. We were supposed to jump. Okay. Cool. 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 Recovery. So he can heal himself. That's good. Do you have a weak spot, my friend? Maybe right in your face? Come on. Come on. Come on. No, not really. Oh, but I'm about to do a lot of damage right now. Oh, or I could overcharge. No, I can't overcharge. No, I need 4. I was thinking it this morning. I did a rough workout this morning. Nice. And it was a lot of squats and lunges, and I was thinking about fencing and how, you know, through the pain, I was thinking that, oh, if I could just get stronger, I could go back to fencing. Does hitting the big red X do more damage? Yes. So you can't hit it directly, like it's not something you can aim at, but if a character has the big red X on them, your next attack will do more damage. Mentally, yeah, imagine a Rowlet with legs. What a concept. My L is gonna hurt. There we go.
Danger.
Okay, jump. Oh, okay, that's not that bad. So her skills, offensive stance, she deals more damage and takes more damage. At the end of the turn, she will revert to stanceless unless she uses a skill that switches her to a different stance or uses her base attack. Okay. Defensive stance. Oh my god, this is crazy. Like all owls, that's true, right? It's mostly fluff that covers the legs, but they are there. Offensive stance, Spark has additional effects. Use Spark to benefit. Okay.
Flames. On me.
Honestly, I could do another training session. This is kind of... Oh, I still can't overcharge? What about me? I could use another training session with this guy. Nail's only level 5. Ugh, we're gonna have to carry her for one.
That was fun, but I think we've had enough training today.
Well, you know, it seems friendly.
You could come with us if you like.
Yeah, let's bring the curator.
If that's a yes, we'll see you at the camp.
This is so much crazier than having withers in your camp. Yeah, the horse snuffling. Just a friendly, you know, supernatural being. Perhaps he will join you at camp. Cool. That was fun. I can't believe we're gonna have to deal with that guy at camp. I'm not gonna be able to sleep.
Go to the manor and maybe learn something.
Yeah, or we could get back to the indigo tree.
Neko's usually here. I wonder where...
Noko? Does she have other friends? Has she made friends here? Aw, hello. What a cutie. A real I guess gestural, yeah. Oh my
Stop
god.
that, you big hairy brush face. Can't you see they're human? Noko's a bit dramatic, but
Oh my
if you're
god.
nice, Noko will trade you lots of useful items for Chroma.
What? Mustache man! Mustache man!
Perhaps the grandest in the SKA exist too. Are there more Gestrels like you? I'd love to meet them.
Noko, you silly scruff.
This is me,
Their village is
actually.
not far from here.
Oh, really?
Lune,
I know. Don't have time for detours.
yeah, we need to get to the paintress.
No, no.
There's another sea between here and the paintress.
Noko, as the best gestural merchant ever, I bet you know a solution.
What does their face look like?
Come on, you broomhead. I know you know.
Yeah, I don't blame her. Stop, this is so cute. This is so cute. The world building of this game is phenomenal. I mean,
Guess you'll get to meet more Gestrels.
I feel like I haven't played a game with such a unique, like, I mean, this world is so fresh. I just love novelty. What can I say? Excuse me. Impress the merchant in a duel. Okay, Noko, ready? Where'd you go? Oh, he doesn't want to fight. Okay. I guess we'll just, you know, keep going. I love Nako. He's great. What a character. Okay, so let's see. He's got skills. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. She's got skills. Heck yeah. $15 points. Alright. She's offensive, right? So she's gonna need more health to maintain her offensive stance. She's gonna be... Let's see. Yeah. I don't know how to build a character. It's fine. Okay, so... Powerful to allies. I don't want that, though. I want recovery. He's got recovery. Okay, perfect. What is Mael's whole deal here? Because the thing is, they don't have classes, right? So I'm so used to making a rogue or a warrior or a mage or whatever, but they don't have class. Although I guess they kind of do. She's kind of a rogue, or Gustav is kind of a warrior, and Lune is kind of a mage. She has 7 years to live. It's more than Gustav! Class Expeditioner. Yeah, do they get specializations later on? What's... Oh, I guess we can just get both. It's gonna take me so long to figure out how to use my L. Oh, we can revive now. Yeah, baby. Alright. Alright. Fish!
These dead Nevrons. Who could have done this?
Guess.
Yes?
So you didn't just stay in your mansion.
Oh, wow, okay. Mael's been busy. Give it up for revive. Now we'll never die.
Guess we found 68's boat.
There's a path through the boat.
That anchor doesn't look man-made.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hello. So there are dragons in this game? Oh, exciting. It's not really a dragon, but... You know what? Close enough. Welcome back, Dragon Age. I love to attack an enemy when their back is turned. A present just for me? Oh my god. You shouldn't have. If I'm gonna do anything, it's make every game I play about Dragon Age. Yeah, it's Dragon Age crossed with chicory. What an amazing combination.
Take them down.
The storm is coming.
Do I have lightning? Thunderfall. Okay, I need... Nice. Offensive switch. Spark. Doesn't do anything. Wait, how do I know what switches to Virtuos stance? If target is burning. Which they are not. Target becomes weak to fire damage. Oh. Nice.
Please survive.
Please survive, I'll try. Oh, nice.
Take cover.
No. No, wow, okay. Alright, you know what? You win some, you lose some. Oh my god, that was really cool. She being the hot, right, she's the hot one. She's gotta keep her hair flowing. She's beat Gustav up too many times, true. I only lost to her once, okay? Okay. Man, every song in this game is a bop.
Take them down.
And I like that it's not just the same battle theme every time. Oh, I should give Mael some new thread, shouldn't I? She needs her Pictos. She shouldn't have any. Let's see. Okay. She has a braid. It's not enough. Not enough. She's got that braid is decorative. That braid is not functional. Gustav. Inspiring for years. No, for sure. They definitely have. Why is her sword named after her? Huh? His sword was not named after him. Level 4. Oh, the weapon's only level 2. How do you get the weapons leveled up? I thought it would have gone with the character, but maybe not. Cool. Alright, now that we've disturbed those innocent creatures, we can continue. Oh, oh god. There's a path through the boat. I think that was probably the direction I was going. Oh man. Ooh, platforming. Hello. Wouldn't name your weapons after yourselves. Okay, you know what? You've got a fair point. Nope, no. Go up, go up, go up. Who invented the grapple? That's what I want to know. I know that Gustav invented the, what's it called, Lumina converter. Loot? New Pictos! Okay. Free aim damage. Does Mael have free aim? I assume she does. But I kind of like Gustav's free aim the best. Yeah. Yeah. If you were a teen and told you could give your rapier a name, I'd call it Ephemeralorum. Obviously. This is a good game. Because the exploration is there, but it's limited. So I'm not overwhelmed by it all, but can I just fall? Where's the... Alright, you know what? Surely this will not hurt. Amazing. Amazing. Why are they holding their arms like that? Oh, that's just what their arms look like. Whoops.
flow.
Slow. Low fire damage switches. Applies defenseless. I want to see what Virtuos stand. Oh, but I can't unless it's burning. Oh, I see. So I have to. Let's try some stuff out.
Flames. On me.
Oh, it's dead. Okay, I gotta wait a little bit longer. It's okay, she's in her defensive stance, so that went well. Yeah, I think open world games are bad for me at this point in my life. I think that's what I have discovered. I like a game that gives me the illusion of exploration but guides me along the path. Actually, I think that's a really good game. That's just a mark of a good game in general, I think. Can I heal my L? Is it worth it? Oh, I can't. Like, I think a game should... I think my dream game is a linear experience that gives me with a loose lead, you know? Mael is president of the Mael fandom, so true. So Mael is a fencer. Okay, cool. It would have been Gustav, but she said no one can like me more than I like me. Amazing. I mean, Adagio, if it makes you feel any better, my fully non-teenage self named my dog in Doctor Who Dogter Who, so you never have to grow out of your fandoms. Which is a blessing and a curse, you know? Can I get up there? Gustav's taller. Can he get up there? No. Alright. Is this not the path they want me to go on? But they placed a collectible there. Interesting. Okay. This looks promising. Unless this is where I came from? No, it certainly is not. Oh, maybe I shouldn't attack everyone I see. A diminutive! What's this never undoing? Not saying anything, that's for sure. Doctor Who and Veterinarian was right there. This was years ago. I'm sorry, are you referring to what I think you're referring to? Or is there some pun with Veterinarian that I'm missing? This was in 2021 when I played Dragon Age Origins. Doctor. Oh, it's like a veterinarian. Dog doctor veterinarian. No, that wasn't the... No. I named it Dogter Who because it was a dog. The veterinarian pun is too many layers beyond me. What if we were to give it a mind? Where would we get such a thing? And why would we give such a thing? But maybe not everything in this world is evil. Huh, what do you know? Maybe we shouldn't kill everything we see. But onions! My wordplay is not onions. My wordplay is pies in the face. I slap you with it, and if you're not a fan, you can go home. Where the heck am I going? Oh, not down there, I guess. Because they asked so nicely. I mean, I could attack it, but because this is an auto-saving game, if I attack it, that's it. It's over. And as we know, Lune, the anthropologist, would not simply attack something. Okay, I don't know where I can get a mine at this point. Thank you. It's like a slap in the face with a fish. If you don't like getting slapped in the face with a fish, you would not like my jokes. Oh, platforming, okay. Oh. I will say this game's strong suit is not platforming. But that's not what it was made to do, so who am I to judge? Hey, Gustav. Get core-nobbled. Love that. Presumably there's something here, like this is some kind of side quest. I'm not just doing this for fun. Well, I see there's a... Okay, so there's something over there. I wish we could swing on these chains, but I'm guessing that's not what this game is doing. Yeah, so we can't go down there. Okay, we can't go up here. So we can only go this way. Okay. This is fascinating, trying to understand where they want me to go. Okay, there we go. An intact mine! Oh, okay, okay, cool. Cool, 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 cool. So I'm just gonna go around, I guess that's easier. Can't go up, can't go down, so we're going straight through. Maybe it'll be friendly. Maybe it won't attack us with the mine if we just give it. You know, maybe we'll make a friend. Hey, hold this. Look, it looks so friendly. Whoa.
It said something.
New weapon. It's becoming more and more unusual. Screech! Are you bothering you? This could be bad. A ballon! I'm so confused. What just happened? Who can even use it? She can use it. Oh my gosh! It's so cute! Now wait. If I keep talking to it, will it kill me? Oh, I could just load from a previous save if it tries to kill me, right? Okay, let's just leave it. Let's just leave it. Okay, cool. That was fun. Now we have a balloon. A ballon. I still don't know where we're going. I'm going through the ship? Okay, this looks promising. Enemy here we haven't killed yet. That's how I know I'm going in the right direction. I like the dubstep. Now I feel bad killing these guys after one of them was so nice to me. I don't like this. I don't like you. Nice, nice.
Finesse and grace.
Finesse and grace. Wasn't that nice of the devs? That was. Okay, I can do this. Nope. There we go. Alright. I got one. We're gonna need to find a boss soon so I can really, you know, show my stuff. I'm feeling pretty good about the combat right now. Oh, this looks fun. Nothing to worry about here. Danger cave, or we could just fight this thing.
It's forging something. So they have intelligence.
Am I about to kill it? If it's just making something. Yeah, I guess I am. Is there like a genocide route or a pacifist route to this game? Yeah, can you believe they have intelligence?
Ice.
Oh, I shouldn't have wasted that on its Because it's got the thing.
Brace yourselves.
Okay. No, oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, okay. That's embarrassing. Okay. Where would its weak spot be here? Whatever, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Imagine if the enemy scaled along with your power level. I mean, yeah, it's true. Okay, so she can't heal Mael, so I hope Mael doesn't die. Nice.
Not looking good.
Yeah, not looking good. Okay, how do we get to defensive stance? She goes back to stanceless. Weak to fire, but... Yeah, that was pretty good. Hey Dawn, how's it going? Happy Sunday. Level 17 mime would be terrifying. It was already kind of terrifying. Okay, okay. No. Okay, I need to time the first one better, I guess. Alright, Mael's gonna die unless... Unless...
Romance flowing.
Unless we can heal her. Excellent, excellent. Alright, we're good. So now she's defensive. We're gonna just, I think. But she has so many... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, okay.
Let us stain them.
Well... Alright. She's like support, but also glass cannon. You wouldn't hear it. Good, okay. You know, fair enough. Stanceless, okay. Okay, so I'm not succeeding parrying those, so I should probably just give up. Okay, so Mael is gonna be our glass cannon damager, and Luna is gonna switch to a support role, which is fine. It's fine. Oh, applies defense. Okay, I don't know what that means. I don't understand why she keeps switching stances. I'm not doing this right. Mime, the silent killer, so true. I'm just gonna dodge now. Nice, alright. Alright, Gustav, let's go. Oh, he can't even overcharge. This is so sad. I can never get him to overcharge what it counts, you know? Oh, it's burning though. This is good. This is good. Oh, but I can't do from fire either. So I'm just gonna have to recover like a normal person. Okay. Alright. 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 He's having some performance issues. That's true. He's having performance anxiety. New weapon, Cooleron. Element, ice. Ooh. I feel so bad. That thing was just making its own weapon and we took it. And also killed the thing. But you know what? We got a really sick sword. So who, you know, how can we really be upset? Got a super sick sword. I like that you can just pick up weapons here. Why do they bother bringing anything with them from the mainland? 68, oh. Where does fast travel take? Oh, Noko's hut, okay. Wait, how do I get to Nako's hut? Oh shoot, did I miss the village? Genuine question, did I miss the village or am I getting to it? 'Cause I know that this game is mostly linear. But, can I not? Oh. Oh, I did not miss it. Okay, good. Thank you. Nice. No. I really want to meet the rest of the, what are they called? Just whatever they were called. I want to meet them again. They were cute. Shatter, highlighting damage. Ooh, okay. I'll hold off on those. Most fights are not long enough to generate enough action points, but I guess that's a good thing because it means most fights are not boss fights. That's a good skill. Right. Meanwhile, lightning damage, 3 hits, critical hits trigger an additional hit, and she's got really high luck. So that sounds like a good move here. Nice. What does this give? Is this a group heal? Alright, we're saving up for group heal. Wonder how those kids... Yeah! Gestrels, okay. How did they know what it looked like? So, I guess the main question is, has anyone ever come back from an expedition? My understanding was no. That no one has ever successfully come back. Which is crazy that they keep doing it, but I guess what else would they be doing? But then, of course, it does raise the question, how do they know what are the Nevrons are and Gestrels and all of that? Where does all of this knowledge come from?
This will be useful.
Is it? Oh, we can trade chroma for things, so it will be useful. Oh, okay. Alright, I'll go the other way.
We can use that.
Staggering, increased base damage. Oh, okay, my elk can use that. Increased break damage on base attack. I don't know what break damage is. I don't know what anything is. A wardrobe. Oh, is it man? Oh, he looks terrible. Oh my god, why would they do that to him? Why did they do that to him? Why did they give him a man bun? What did he do to deserve that? Alright, friend, we don't want to fight. We're just gonna leave. Oh. Is there loot down here? Oh, okay, so that's loot. Did I miss something? I feel like I missed something up there. Some people just can't handle pathetic, scruffy men. So they had to clean them up. This looks scary. I don't want to come down here. I wish I had a map. Okay, this looks like it doesn't lead anywhere. I'm gonna hope that this doesn't lead anywhere and this will just give me loot. Alright, fine. Fine, game. We shall accept your challenge. Oh! Oh my god, okay. Alright, talk about- oh my god. Talk about challenge! 5 hits. They probably don't take a lot of earth damage. I'll let her get to Thunderfall. Nice. Okay, yeah, Thunderfall's gonna be worthwhile here. Guard up. Yeah. Up to 3 allies. Excellent.
I'll do it.
Darn it. Okay, this time I can do it. Nope. Oh, she's stunned. I can't parry? Oh my god. Darn it. Darn it! Oh my god. Alright, well, so much for Thunderfall. Okay. They've still got their shell on. Hey Spyro, how's it going? Big luggers, that's what they are. Own little quest request, it is very specifically not a thing. What? Yes. I'm not sure what you're asking, but the answer is yes. How you doing, Spyro? Welcome on in. Have you seen Elio yet since this morning when I told you about it? Oh, this guy's still. Okay. Not again! You haven't seen it yet. I'm not surprised. But I think you should. Oh my god, we didn't jump in time. Okay. Alright, okay, alright. This is fine, this is fine. Oh, it's not gonna do any damage. Oh man, okay.
Lightning. Strike.
Oh, these things are beefy. Okay, alright. Ooh, naps are good. Beach day sounds wonderful. Yes. Oh, you woke up from a nap. Good morning. Good to see you. Elio, I want to say Elio is really cute. I really think people should see it. Like, you have to go into it knowing it's a kids movie, but it's a really good kids movie. And the biggest thing, the most important thing, is that it's original. And I feel like that's something we need right now. And she still doesn't have enough. Oh my god. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay. Still, wow. This is rough. This is rough. Oh, at least they're slow. Let me get guard up. Yeah.
Shields up.
Okay, okay, okay. Darn it! Oh! That last one, okay. Oh, there we go, there we go. Alright, I got the timing. Okay, smash to the ground. Ready? Oh. There we go. Okay, we got it, we got it, we got it.
Let the ink flow.
There we go. Finally. This is stressful.
Lightning, strike.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking
Spill
about.
some ink.
What I was getting, it won't influence the gameplay in a way that matters for the plot. Okay. Yeah, no, I'll definitely do it then. And kids do deserve good movies, and their parents deserve good movies when they bring them to it. And people who like Pixar, even as adults, deserve good movies, even if the movies are made for children. The thing about Elio is that I can't believe it came out the same, just like a few weeks after the Lilo and Stitch remake, because the Lilo and Stitch remake was soulless and completely misunderstood the original source material. And Elio feels like a new generation Lilo and Stitch story. In the best way possible, not derivative at all, but sort of a spiritual successor to Lilo and Stitch. In a way that the remake never ever will be. Alright, now we can start killing these guys. Oh, it shows me what stance I switched to, I think. Or no, it doesn't.
Please survive.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right, I get it. I'm getting there.
Let us stay now.
Yeah, family friend. Exactly. Family movie. And I think it was the epitome of a family movie where I think everyone would get something from it. Like, it was funny for kids. It was heartfelt for adults. And if you like Carl Sagan and the story of Voyager and the Golden Record, you might cry. Not speaking from personal experience. Or if you've ever in your life felt out of place, you know. It was a really beautiful movie. Visually beautiful, and the music was amazing too. So I really can't speak highly enough. Like, don't go into it expecting your life to change. Don't go into it expecting something new. But it was very sweet and genuine. Hey, you feel out of place? Go watch this movie. Go watch this movie.
Feel the burn.
Now can I overcharge, please? Please, please.
For those who come after.
There we go. There we go. Overkill, more like it. Ha 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 ha. She has no more action points? No way. Wow, okay.
Guard up.
There we go. Oh, that was really cool. What a cool ending shot. For those who come after. That was awesome. Oh, hi, Mael. Alright, I forget where I was going. Oh, I was trying to get this thing. Right, okay. Up there somewhere? Up there. There. And right behind it, maybe? It can't be too far away. Otherwise that would defeat the whole... It's gotta be up there? No. Hey, Corwell, come on in. I don't know Logan's Run. Can you tell me? If you tell me the plot of Logan's Run, will it spoil this game? How you doing today? Good to see you. Is Logan's Run a movie or a game? Or a book? Or a show? Or a radio play? Or a podcast? There are a lot of things out there. Okay, this has to be worth it. This has to be worth it. Shoot the mine? Shoot the mine? Oh, I mean, if you insist. I don't think it'll do anything. Yep. Oh, there we go. So they all carry guns, which is fine. I can't blame them in the world they live in.
Well, that will help.
Nice. Another revive. You know what? I will say I haven't needed to revive anyone recently. Knock on wood. It's a movie and a book. Ah, I see, I see. Plot is that just... you know what? I knew it's like... It's definitely a familiar concept where everyone over a certain age gets killed, and suddenly you have to, you know, then it's like the young people have to take over. So yeah, the premise is similar. I don't know if the plot, oh no! Platforming in action. But the premise is very similar. It reminds me of another book I never finished reading called Neptune something or other. No, see, the game can't do this to me. They can't not tune their own platforming controls and then expect me to have precision. In Logan's Run, why does everyone over 30 get killed? Is that just how the government does it? Okay. Oh, because in this there's a very specific supernatural force at work, but I'm curious if in Logan's Run it's something else. Good horror film with the same concept, just kind of thrown in. I mean, it is a good concept. And I think it is horror in itself. The thought of everyone over the age of 30 dying. They lied to everyone and say everyone is reborn at 30, but they don't explain why it ever happens. Ooh, that's unsettling. Color of Lumina. I haven't used any of the things I've collected so far, and I imagine it's gonna stay that way. Because that's how I play games. Only it's not 30. Yeah, so in this game it's more of a moving target where... So first it was everyone at the age of 100, then 99, 98, and so on. So now we're all the way down to 33. So at the point when the game begins, it's kind of like that. But when it started, it wasn't. You're trying to be coy. Oh, Midsummer. Is that the plot of Midsummer? I've never seen it and never will. So I can't do horror. Yeah, the society is just super weird. Ooh.
Expedition 68.
Journal.
Elodie. It's a miracle any of us survived. We were caught in the maelstrom and flung from wave to wave. We lost the moon and the stars, condemned to a never-ending darkness of punishing rain and raging clouds. The Paintress sent a storm to overcome us. But it is we who have overcome the storm. After surviving that, crushing those Nevrons was almost an afterthought. Strength and resilience
like the
is
Manchester
how we survived
accent.
that storm. And it's how we grabbed
Not
victory.
Manchester. Sheffield?
It wasn't even a battle.
Sounds like Sheffield.
It was an ink bath. We squeezed those Nevs dry. But this new one looks tougher than the others.
Like, very specifically, she sounds like Mandip Gill. Alright. New theory just for the sake of theorizing. Oh, it's just part of Midsummer. Interesting, okay. Yeah, Elodie, this is the one we found. Doesn't she... Who plays Elodie? Should I know who voices Elodie? Let's see. Elodie Claire, voice actor. Elodie Claire Obscura voice cast. Oh, it probably isn't gonna tell me. Could you find out for me? I'm curious. It's probably someone random. You just agreed? Okay. So, random theory for the sake of theorizing, but just because there is this kind of sense of... like, wanting to believe... Okay. But this might just be... This might be kind of lazy. I don't know. Okay, theory... What are we at now? Theory 3. Theory 3. Like, maybe the Paintress isn't evil. I think right now, because I knew so much more about Dragon Age, so I was able to come up with realistic theories, and I was able to get most of them right. This is more just kind of throwing everything in a wall and seeing what sticks. But, you know, what if we're in a world... So you look at all of these creatures, you're wondering, are we bad for killing them? We're coming to this continent. We're just, you know, we're just slaughtering everything in our path. And then you look at, so the fracture happened, something terrible happened 100 years ago. Yeah, in this one, for Dragon Age, I knew what was going on. For this one, I am just as clueless as all of these characters. Yeah, lore. write this down. Do people age in this world? They do. That's actually part of the existential horror of it, is that you age, and so you know you're getting closer and closer to... So what happens is, the way this world works is that there's this being called the Paintress, and every year she paints a new number, and she's counting down from 100, and whenever she paints the new number, on that day, all of the people who are that age die. They like sort of disintegrate, they transform into petals. And so as people do age, and they know that they're getting closer and closer to this date where they're gonna die, which they call the gommage in the world, because it's the erasure of these people from the world. Gommage, oh, like la gomme, like eraser. I get it now. Okay. But you have to wonder why, right? And so I'm sure that the writers of the game want us to be questioning why the Paintress is doing this. And, like, perhaps this is just crazy, but because I don't trust anything, I've gotten to a point when I play games, I don't trust anyone in the game. Solas taught me. Solas taught me well not to trust the narrative that I'm being told in the game. So we don't know what the fracture was or the state of the world right now. Maybe the gommage is necessary? Maybe the Paintress is trying to hold everything together? Like, maybe the creatures on the continent are not malevolent, and maybe, you know, it's like maybe the expeditioners are, you know, it's like maybe humans are the real villains. Like, I don't know. You know, this is just one possibility. We're way too early in the game to have any idea what's going on. But I'm putting it out there so that in case I'm right, it just reminds me, like, the idea of this lone being acting in a way that humans can't understand. Like, maybe what she is doing is not necessarily evil, it's just inflicting suffering on humans. I don't know. I don't know. Just one possibility. Okay. Many possibilities. Because I just feel bad. Oh. Because we don't know, like, none of the expeditioners ever come back, and that's kind of crazy. Like, what is happening to them? Okay, so that's where we came from. So there's something about this world that we don't understand, and we're just kind of stumbling through.
Perfect.
Oh, hi. Hi. Okay, I didn't get that one in time. Solas still turns out to be a baddie in Dragon Age 4, so I don't want to... Oh, man. I don't want to tell you what happens in the Veilguard.
On me.
Oh.
Danger.
Darn it.
Romance flowing.
But I don't want to tell you what happens in the Veilguard, but Solas is a complicated character. And the game was called Dreadbull for a while anyway, so... What would have to happen for you to say, I am okay with erasing 1 year's worth of people every year? Like, what if the fracture was not the end? Like, what if there's another fracture? You know, it's like, what if the fabric of reality is at stake? I don't know, I'm just spitballing. Like, I'm saying, or maybe, like Solas, the Paintress is trying to do something for her own people that she thinks is going to save them, that actually just winds up making, like, creating the veil, right? Like, Solas thought he was doing the right thing by creating the veil. It actually turned out to kind of screw everything up. And he thought he was doing the right thing by trying to get rid of the veil, except that would have been even worse, right? They all said goodbye within the next life, right? So maybe there is some kind of reincarnation, or maybe she's like maybe they're not dying, maybe they're teleporting, maybe she can only teleport, I don't know, it's like maybe she's teleporting them somewhere. That's the thing, whenever you see people disintegrate in sci-fi, you especially Doctor Who, you can never trust that they're dying. Maybe it's a teleporter. All right, I'm gonna put that down just in case. Oh god. Just in case. Maybe the Fromage isn't killing people, but teleporting them somewhere else? You never know. You never know what can happen. That's why you play the game, to find out. But, okay, let's see. I hate these guys so much. Okay. Now I'm gonna heal. He's also gonna heal. Yeah. Oh, darn it. On guard. Alright, alright, alright. Who's she going after? You know what? We're gonna play this defensively. So she, by default, goes on offensive. Okay. My parry skills are not quite there yet.
Ready to evade.
Okay. This isn't working. You gotta watch for- okay, so those things, when they unleash their fury, their talons glow. So I can watch for the glow at least. Okay. From fire takes 4? That's annoying. Okay. Oh. Applies 2 more burn. Let's see. Switches. Oh, here we go.
Brace yourselves.
Alright. I can get 1 out of 2. Nice! Even though that's the one I wanted to use. Oh, so cool. So cool. I still don't know what her stances really do. You know, I really didn't like Action Command in Paper Mario.
Let me take death!
Or in the Super Mario RPG. But here, it makes the combat feel so much more vibrant. Like, I think turn-based combat can slow down so quickly. But this feels very alive, even though it is turn-based. Okay, so sneak attack over. And figure out where we're going now. Alright, fine, 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 fine. You're in my way. Yeah, no, it feels really fun. It feels quick, even though it is like, I think I stopped playing turn-based for a while because I felt kind of slowed down. But, I feel like this is definitely much quicker. I don't think his ice sword is really the way to go.
Get ready.
So I'm always too early for those.
I'm ready.
Oh, too late for that. Too early for that. Okay. We're still learning, friends. We're still learning. Okay, whatever. Nice. It's day 2. Everything is fine. What's funny? What happens when we get to— oh, 33, that is funny. What happens when we get to day 33? Do we die? If I don't finish this game in 33 streams, well, I finished Dragon Age in 24, so I think we should be fine. Oh, I have to— oh, I don't have group heal yet. Okay. I'll heal myself. Darn it. Oh, okay. Oh, can I overcharge? Yeah!
Let me paint death!
Let me paint death? That's pretty cool. You have 1 year? So by the end of the year, we're gonna finish the game. Is that what I'm hearing?
We can use that.
2 AP on dealing damage to a marked target. Heck yeah. Who needs the AP the most? Honestly, Loon, I think. Let's see. Critical chance on burning enemies. Burn on a free— no, she never does that. Yeah. Cool. Before the end, it has always been before the end of the year. Every game we play will be finished by the end of the year. I'm so lost. You know what would be a great accessibility feature in a game? Is if they just literally give you an arrow to follow, because I cannot. I cannot navigate myself. We have to go through the boat, I thought. Alright, alright. Okay, here we go. Tomorrow is not a new day. It's 1 day less. Oh god. Spyro. Spyro. Don't do this to me. Let's give him a little bit of luck. Why not? Every game we play will be finished by the end of the— amazing what you can do with a little bit of context. Tomorrow does what? Yeah, because in French it doesn't have the same— come is not the same word, is it? Really interesting linguistic puzzle there, when one of your most common words, you know? What am I holding out for here? Powerful? Eh. What am I— oh, she needs more skill points. Okay. Oh wow, everyone's kind of stymied. Ha ha ha, very funny. Very funny. Hilarious, in fact. Okay, so if I just go straight, maybe through the path that they marked for me, I can't lose. Look at that. Cannot lose if you just follow the path that the game developers gave you. Unless— oh. No, but this is where I was going before. This leads to a dead end. Okay. Okay, alright, we found it. That's not what I said, Martine. I said C-O-M-E. Straight in Pride Month? Yeah, happy Pride, everyone. I think today is the biggest— you know what? That's the English language for you. You heard what you heard.
So many.
Happy Pride.
I don't like this.
Whoa.
Merde. This one is gigantic.
It looks friendly to me.
Avoid those at all costs.
I don't know. I think it looks like fun. I think we should give it a try. Your quotes are inaccurate. You hear what you want to hear, clearly. I need to be held accountable for the things I say, it's true. Well, I can't argue with you. Oh, hi. Alright, so I know they said avoid them at all costs, but can I just like run through its leg? No, I cannot. I cannot, and I will not. I won't. Oh, but how bad could it be? How bad could it be? No. No. My elf's got a point. I'm not brave enough. Ooh, pretty architecture. Oh my god. Oh, he's just playing. Just playing with us. Can I not rest? Can I not? Oh, there we go. Now we can. Okay. Woo. So, like, what if I did, though? No, I won't. I won't. I won't. I know you're not all here to see me die. Only some of you are. So. Alright, we can identify where we are now. Ah, well. Interesting. So, it looks like, we are in fact still in Paris. Does that make my theory wrong?
This building has a certain melancholy.
This architecture looks very Parisian.
A lone outpost of humanity nestled amongst the corals. A sailor lost its
Wow,
soul.
Mael is a poet.
Our resident cynic is now a poet.
Yeah!
Wouldn't expect a Cartesian engineer to understand beauty.
Get him! Engineers don't know what they're talking about. I bet Gustav never took an ethics class. Oh, this music is very cool. So she gets something on a marked target, right? Oh, that didn't work very well. Not to be the one to relate to the 16-year-old, but she's the only one who really gets it, you know? She gets it. Oh, darn it.
Lune, watch out!
Okay. I'll get better. I'll get better. Somehow.
Feel the burn.
If target is burning. Okay.
Ready to pound.
Nice. Okay, I can get the second one. I just can't get the first one for whatever reason. Lightning, ice damage. Ooh, she's got lots. Okay.
Lightning. Strike.
What I like about the deal damage to random enemies is that when there's only one enemy, they get all the damage. So that's fun. Okay, cool. We attacked another enemy from behind. Is that it? Is that all that was up here? Okay. Hey, look! Oh, these are not flower petals. This is still some kind of, what, coral? Oh, there's a strange noise. Professional backstabbers. We are... That's what they should call the expedition.
Nice.
After a free aim hit, base attack damage is increased By 50%? No way. I'm gonna give her the dodging. I have to remember to dodge. Oh, that was a cool hair flip. Okay. Alright. Does anyone ever use any other character to run around besides Lune? Because look at her. I mean, come on. This is just so fun. Okay. And no fall damage? Amazing. What? This is this whole game is wish fulfillment. Alright, let's go to the Porte de Lumière. People who aren't into feet? You just don't look at the feet. Her feet aren't bothering anyone. You know, she's just fine. You like the sound of feet crunching? Oh, yeah, I guess. Uh-oh. I triggered plot! Oh no! I mean, I think that's probably for the best. How long have we been streaming? Somebody remind me to Sophie! Oh shoot, I didn't get the screenshot in time. Darn it. Someone remind me to update this, upload this to YouTube, is what I'm trying to say. Plot in an RPG? I know. What a concept. Oh, hi! Oh, tree friend. It's Sophie! Spybo, welcome. Martine, that sounds like Liz Lemon. I told you! Sophie! Oh god, there's something back there.
Watch out!
Oh, it's just a friend.
You're right.
Oh, it's a big friend. Oh, and it doesn't like the rose. Oh, well, why would you pluck the rose from the ground? It's not yours, Gustav. Gablu. Oh, I did not. Oh, okay. Okay, that's not fair. Gablu. Resistant to ice. Perfect. Perfect. So glad. So glad we're here. God, the blend of dubstep and classical music is great. Okay, okay. Gustav is not gonna carry this time. What? How? Wait, I'm so confused. Can we not? I'm so confused. Why are we not dodging that? #1 on the classical music crossover chart. Amazing. I love that. Rose flowers. Oh no. Okay. And it's not burning anymore? I swear. Hello! Oh my god, Dita, thank you! Welcome on in. How you doing? Happy Sunday! Anything interesting happening? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. We're picking flowers right now, if you can believe it. Nothing going on. How are you? How are you handling the heat of Florida? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. This is the mime girl? Yeah, we rescued the mime girl. Very happy to see her. Oh. There we go. It's so stuffy in this room, and I can't open the window because it's hotter out there. Anyway. Yeah, we're just making friends. Goodbye, America. Hello, New York. Oh, you're back! Oh, well, welcome back. To still a very hot state. But better. And presumably you can be inside now. Oh, this thing has a lot of health. Okay. Alright. Okay, this is bad. This is probably bad. Okay. The music is good though. It's bumping. We're bumping. Is this a boss? I think so. This is Goblu. He has a name. Oh, dégage. What was that? That switches to offensive. I want to switch to defensive, but I guess I can't. Well, I guess we're going to die. Okay, good. Oh, we have to dodge those. Okay, that's not fair. That's not fair. Alright, I guess we're just gonna have to heal. Okay.
Let the ink flow.
She can heal Gustav. Alright, we're not gonna die. Oh. We have revived. Death is built for the weak. Okay. Oh my god. Sorry, I shouldn't be looking at chat during a turn. You're right, just be different. I should just be different. Okay, skills. Oh shoot, I missed both of them. Oh my god. Darn. Really bad, okay.
I'm not giving up.
That's Quebec. Just want some poutine. Just want some escargot. I don't know. Can't even play without looking at the game. I know. What a loser.
Get ready.
Okay. Okay. She can't revive yet. But she will. Okay, okay. Darn it! That was better. That was better. We got 2. Yeah, did everyone bring their baguettes?
I'm ready.
Oh my god, okay.
Take him down.
We need to take care of ourselves. We've got revival tints, okay.
Merci.
Okay. No! Shoot. Oh god. Okay.
Shields up.
Well, it's not my fault he picked the flower. Oh my god. This is so stressful. I don't think we're gonna win this.
Ready to parry.
Okay, alright.
Let's push forward.
Okay, alright. Skills. Healing. Oh, now you can do rebirth. Okay. We're in this. We're back. We're not in this anymore. We're not in this anymore. I think we're gonna die. It's okay. We'll try again. Oh yeah, we saw the Eiffel. We saw a sign that said Eiffel Tower. No, we're dead.
Let us stay.
Alright. We're gonna die. Yep. Yeah. I can't time that jump. Just like the one in Vegas, exactly. Oh my gosh, okay. Oh, I like how when it dies, it tells me to change the difficulty settings. Okay, we're gonna do that again. We're gonna rest first. Do I have everything? Do I lose my, items? Like the revive- oh no, I still have all of them. Okay. Okay, I like that they recharge. Game said skill issue. Game said skill, but you know what? I have skill, so we're gonna do it again. But we're gonna be smart this time because Gustav should not use an ice weapon when the ice weapon is bad. She should use... oh, okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay. And do we have better Pictos? Anything? No, probably not. Okay. Better skills? Do we have any skills that we could be using? I don't think we've... no, we've got all the skills. You have skills, I have issues. Works out perfectly. Okay. No, these are all the skills. Oh, okay, we need to get rid of this. For this. We need to get rid of this. For this. We need to switch. Okay, that's fine. Let's go again. Let's go again. Let's go again. I have faith. Maybe. I don't know why. Okay. Let's get... you know, we wanted a challenge. We're gonna get a challenge. Okay. Two. We got two. We got two. Items. No. Skills. Yes. Skills. Electrify. We're gonna guard up.
I'll do it.
Melee combo, okay. Alright. See, we can do it. I have faith. Overcharge. We're just gonna go for it. We can't go for it. Okay, that's fine. Thunderfall. Electrify. Again. Please survive. Okay, timing didn't work there, but that's fine. That's fine. Gonna go to defensive, perform the melee combo. Okay, it's fine, we're fine, we're good, we're fine, we're good. Overcharge, let's go.
For those who come after.
Oh, I thought we only have to do that like 8 more times, guys. Amazing, we're gonna heal. We're proactively healing, alright? We're keeping our fighters alive. Guard up. They still have it, so we don't want to waste that. Want to keep us alive. I'm gonna keep us in defensive stance. Or not. Skills. We need to get him to recover. Okay. Only 8 more times. Easy. Can I kill the flowers? No, I can't. Okay. Darn it. That's really rough. Okay.
A storm is coming.
Oh, she can almost do Thunderfall, but we're not messing around here. We're keeping everyone alive. What a mean thing to say. As long as I can keep it from jumping, that's really the main thing here. Oh, never mind. Oh, no. Alright, damage time. Oh, she could heal. JK, we're healing. That's what I call support. Okay. Alright, you know what? We got one.
Finesse and grace. Flames on me.
I just need no one to drop dead, you know?
Ready to evade.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Alright. Alright. Skills.
Take them down.
A storm is coming.
No, this is gonna be sick. Watch this. Watch this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I don't want her to switch. That's fine.
Please survive.
It's always that last one. Honestly, it's a confidence thing. I just have to believe I can do it, and then I can do it.
On me.
Darn it. 155. My goodness. That's what I like to see. Okay, we have to save his overcharge. We gotta save his overcharge. She's gotta heal.
Finesse and grace.
Finesse and grace. Love it. Target is not burning. I would like the target to burn. Alright, Gustav, it's all you, babe. Let's go. Oh no. Darn it. I gotta wait a little bit longer before that one.
For those who come after.
We only gotta do that one more time. Kill, 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 kill. This is... I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk it. I won't say a word. I will not say a word. Anything could happen. It's growing many flowers. Large bug. Oh, Martine, I'm so sorry. Oh, I know that. Oh, that's horrible. Run. Just leave. Just leave. Just, you know what? You don't have to stay there. Just go. Hit the bricks. Oh! Oh, here we go! Here we go! Here we go! Oh no, now it's gonna have like 5 blocks. Okay. Oh, 7. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Guys, we can do this. 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 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. So she's gotta heal. She's gotta heal herself. Sorry. Oh, oh! Oh, I did not know it could do that! Can I hit it 3 times in one? Oh, but I can't. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay, okay. This is so unfair. We were actually gonna get it.
Hurts.
This is so unfair. This is so unfair. Okay. This is the most stressful thing that I have ever done. Oh my god. Woo-hoo-hoo! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Hey, it only took 10 minutes. That's gotta be pretty good, right? We continue.
Gustav, wait! It seems peaceful. As long as we don't touch
This
the
reminds
flowers.
me of something else.
Yeah, let's not get too sentimental. It's still a paintress creation.
Oh, did you get the bug, Martine? Good.
Putain!
No, Gustav, what are you doing? Let it go. Oh my god, let it go.
Damn, Maya, what was that?
It felt familiar.
Mael has been
Gustav,
infected
we won't
with the
understand what's
paintress.
going on if we kill everything that moves.
Look, a red tree. The Gestural village must be ahead.
That was crazy. Yeah, little sister behavior, true.
You know what Neverons are capable of.
She'll be fine.
Nobody here gets along.
She'll be fine.
I don't think she's fine right now. I think she's gotten some kind of implant. Or should we camp? We can't camp right now. If I heal and go back, we'll have to fight it all over again. I assume we'll be fine. She's got the anime girl almost braids. I just don't trust anything about this game. Is that so much? Is that so ridiculous? Oh, thank goodness. Ponytail too close to braid. Hoo 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 hoo. You're probably right. They probably have oh gosh. Red Wolf did hurt me. Being lied to for the entire game definitely hurt me, even though I knew. Like, I knew that, you know, I knew the plot twist and it still hurt. Good, look for him. Whoa. That was fun. That was cool. Look, I have a rock. You gonna throw a rock at? Okay. She's gonna throw it at her.
Still too far.
Being out here isn't what I expected.
As expected. Hey. You okay?
Death out here's not like death in Lumiere, is it? I thought I was used to losing people. I've have a foster child, right? But not like that. On the beach. That man.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Nevrons we were prepared for, but not. And now we've finally found other survivors, and it's... You know, that's the insidious thing about the Gommage. It's predictable, almost gentle. It makes Lumiere complacent and accepting, but... The Gommage is equally violent than death. Death is just as final.
For all we know.
I've been having nightmares.
Yeah, me too. Look, if death approaches, I want you to run. No, promise me. Run. Especially if we meet the man from the beach. We can't face him. You see him? You run.
Only if you do the same.
Oh, I'm running as soon as I see a strand of white hair. Trust me. You won't even see me. I'm running so fast.
Oh, please, you're an old man. I can outrun you any day.
He probably would have made a really good dad.
There was a time when 30 was young, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Like, that's crazy. Imagine growing up in a world where you look at a 31-year-old and you say, this guy is old because he's going to die. Oh, look, our friend is back. He's got petals floating around him. I'm sure that's not significant at all. I'm sure he's not gonna gommage us at any point.
Surprised to find you here.
I hope we can trust him.
Well, at least we can upgrade our Pictos.
Oh my god, terrifying. Yeah, no, it's like she is 16, she is a kid, but also she's halfway to her, I mean, no, even more. What? So if they're at 33 right now, then when it's 32, she'll be 17, 31, 18, 30, 19. Like, she'll die at, what, 25? 24, 25, so she's staring death. They're all staring death in the face. Crazy. Crazy. Alright, I want to just briefly note down. I don't know if it's just a design choice, but the curator definitely had noticeable petals floating around him. Petals floating around him. Surely not suspicious. Okay. Cool. So let's upgrade our Pictos, I guess. Oh, he doesn't have them now. Did I hallucinate it? Maybe it's just where we are. 33. Okay. The math, I see. Curator offers you his services. Upgrade weapons. Weapon upgrade. This is literally just Dragon Age. Weapons are the main source of attack power. Passive effects from weapons can't be learned as well. Weapons scale their damage. Oh, they scale with different abilities. Oh, I missed that. Okay. That's very Elden Ring. Whenever you hear curator, your brain thinks of someone else. Who do you think of? When I hear curator, I think Night at the Museum. No, I don't actually know if I have a specific association with it. Was the character in the Dragon Age named the curator, or was he named something else? The caretaker. He was named the caretaker. Upgrade your weapons using chroma catalysts. Oh, I got an achievement. Oh, I wasted that on... what's his face? Whoopsie. The Dark Anthology? Until Dawn. Oh. This is the curator. Yeah, sure, why not? Oh, this will get better. Oh, okay, sure. Oh, I see, I see. I see. Oh, wow. That's really good now. Upgrade expedition resource. You're allergic to paying attention. That's okay. I think paying attention is overrated. Curator, I'm also always happy to answer questions. Lumina point to a character costs 1 color of lumina. There's no... okay, what does that even mean? This is so much. What does it mean? Alright, you know what? That's fine. Not gonna question it, just gonna go with it. Alright, now we got our buddies. Let's put the tunes on. Reminds us of home.
How did the Gestrels survive out here?
I'm not sure.
I can't wait to ask them. Gestrels?
How did they survive out here? Did they come from Lumiere?
How did the Gestrels?
I'm not sure.
I can't wait to...
Maybe, oh, did they come from Lumiere and that's how they know? Because they went, that's maybe
All
something.
the Gestrels were real.
You did not.
Well, I thought it.
Really interesting conversations we had. Okay. They were no, but if they were already here, then we still don't know, because the missing piece is, how do they know what they are in Lumiere? Long enough that people remember them from before the... Oh, so you're saying it's been passed down from before the fracture. Okay. Okay. Is there codex stuff I should be writing down about the what are they called? Gestrels? Okay, so Gestrels are friendly. Gestrels are friendly little merchant creatures. And the Nevrons, we don't know what the Nevrons are. Is that just a generic term? Generic term for the Paintress's creatures? It seems like that might be what that refers to. Not sure. So what are they trying to find? Sounds what? I'm like hearing, I'm identifying pieces. Every time I hear it, I'm gonna get more words, probably. Can't unlock these yet. Alright, fine. Write down the lyrics? Or no? No, that's okay. I'm sure I could find them. I don't want to get spoiled. Okay, sure. If you want to write them down. I love the chorus, oh my god. Oh right, this is... okay, right, so this has multiple things. This is amazing. I want to keep streaming probably for a little while, but since we're at camp, I think I'll take this opportunity to take a break. And we'll keep going. Just to give people a heads up, I don't want to do this... I don't want to do too much of this game when people aren't around to see it, because I know that this is a heavy story game. So I'll definitely keep it to weekends. I'm thinking next Sunday I'm around. Actually, let me look at my calendar. I could even update my Twitch schedule, wouldn't that be wild? So, my calendar for the rest of the summer, today is June 29th. I will be on next Sunday. We do summer Sundays. I know, schedule, could you believe it, from me? Next Sunday I'm around. I'm pretty sure the following Sunday I'm around. The following Sunday I'm pretty sure I'm around every Sunday in July. I don't think I have plans. Summer Sunday, Wednesday, so I think this could be really fun. I mean, we're not gonna finish it, but I'm sure we can make a pretty good dent in it. And then in August, I have a couple Sundays off. But for the next, like, 5 or 6 weeks, I think I'll just hold every Sunday for streaming, and we'll be streaming this game. So I think that's what we'll do to generate some consistency, some momentum, you know, keep the story going, make sure people can follow along if they so choose. So that's what I'll do. I'll do summer Sunday, Wednesday. Players who Gaidale, Pincher, okay. Sans L without her. Players gets moved to death, but okay, that's here. I don't know. Eiffel. Okay. Eiffel. Interesting. But yeah, so that's actually exciting. I didn't realize I've got all these Sundays off, so that's wonderful. Okay, excellent. So I'm gonna go take a break. And I will see y'all in a couple minutes. Enjoy. Gotcha's art terms. Okay, thank you. Oh, no, wait, I could do that. Hold on. Actually, everyone, hold on. Shut up. I love when that happens. I think this is the right speed. What do you think? flashing lights warning. Anyway, I could change the clock speed to be custom. I didn't want to do that because I was feeling incredibly lazy when I started this, but could fix it now. That's worse. I think that's slower. Yeah, but anyways, this is the behind the scenes process. This is how it is with slightly more club version. No, it's more like the chipmunk version. We could just listen to it at 4 times speed. But this is how I make my YouTube videos, with a little bit of extra ranting and monologuing in the process. Oh my god! Who did that? Caitlin! You ruined a beautiful moment! Oh my god! Oh my god! God! Caitlin! What did you do? I am communing with this person's dead mother through music. This is the only way they can communicate with a loved one that they have lost and are mourning, and they are communicating through music. And you're playing Kirby. Oh my god. Also, I want to hear about your D&D campaign sometime. Next time. No, not during the plot, no! Oh my god! Wind up and ready. Loop-de-loop-oo. Oh, we're not gonna make it. Oh, an updraft. Oh! You want to sit right in the middle of the fire? Do I get fall damage?
And language flow like the wind.
Oh, I did. Shoot. Everyone forget that just happened. Tell me, okay, tell me if I'm missing something right here. Oh, you know what? Don't tell me, hold on. And of course I can't get to anywhere from here, but you know, that's something. Well, okay, that was fun while it lasted. I haven't stopped smiling since it started. Yeah, shout out Caitlin. Everyone follow Caitlin. Oh, and the ending. Hungarian. I hate you! No! 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 Not the Hungarian! Wait, what? Oh, wow, he really does. He really does just get vaporized. Okay, wait.
Wow, what an idea.
How? Do we just jump? Oh, okay. Oh, no. You're fine, you don't need me.
I promise that was not on purpose.
Sorry, wait. The $10. Founding father without a father, found a lot farther. But no, shoot! The $10. Founding father without a father got a lot farther by working a lot harder by being a self-starter. No, shoot! What is it? Oh my god, the founding... The $10. Founding father without a father got a lot farther by working a lot harder by being a lot smarter by being a self-starter by 16. They placed him in charge of a trading chart. Come to the ephemeral meetup and you'll find out exactly how often I whip it out. See, the thing about comedy that most folks don't realize is that it's all in the timing. And I know when a bit is played out. Believe me, I do. So we're gonna get this now, because it's no longer entertaining. No!
Sarah.
Boo!
Was a puppy with a new toy. 100
Boo!
fun. if you can handle the mess. She was really the only one who could make Rainier, well,
Yeah!
let down his guard. Otherwise, he kept to himself and stuck to the stables. We'd talk when I visited the horses.
Victory!
It was cool, of
It'd be really funny if I died in the tutorial. Oh. I take it back. Oh my god. Oh my god, guys, it's Varric. Oh my god. And it's Solus too, but it's whatever. It's Varric, guys. So I unfortunately know. Okay, so Varric, that guy. You'll find out who he's from the previous game. He was the narrator of the previous game and one of the main character's best friend. Seed, smash on the floor and try again. I'm getting the hang of this. I missed the Inquisitor. My Okay, hold on. So like, I don't do normal video essays because honestly, I do not care what other people have to say. Like, genuinely, I don't care. If you have something to say about movies, I don't care. But if it's like music theory or something that I'm learning, then that's okay. Alright, am I gonna be able to do this? God. I gotta focus. Oh. Oh shoot, why did I do that? Why did I do that? No, I'm stuck. Why did I do that? Oh, that's to get back. But it's like, why do you care what someone else has to say enough to watch? This is, again, the hypocrisy is killing me because I'm literally streaming. I'm literally streaming, thinking people will care what I have to say. And now I'm asking you why you watch video essays. It's a friend! No, it's a bot. No, what the heck? Oh my god, it's a friend! No, it's not. It hates me. Ah, shoot. Ah, it's gonna kill me. Oh, get away, get away. Guys, I'm so disappointed. I thought it was gonna be a friend and now it's another ball, oh my god! But it looks like Vex has a... Uh-oh. 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 Oh, there we go. Come on, Vex. Yeah, where's the... Well, Quinn, there you go. Mind the fuzzy ooze? Where's the fuzzy ooze? Yeah! I want to do it again. Okay, that's cool. I don't need cure wounds. Thunder wave? Am I a Pikachu? She's just so dumb. Before the stream crashed, before I fell from several stories above the ground, before we climbed up to the top of the church, does anyone remember? Does anyone, thank you, exactly. Does anyone remember who told us to climb as high as we possibly could before going to the place that I was going to? I was following the quest. Does anyone remember who told us to keep climbing higher and higher until, like Daedalus, the wax in our wings melted under the heat of a cruel, unforgiving sun? I can't seem to remember who. It slipped my mind. It slipped my mind, but now we have a glider. Our traveler is dead, broken on the ground. Her wings snapped prematurely. But we have the glider. Pikachu is a round boy. But the B tier is getting so crowded. I feel like I have to move Pikachu to A. Oh god, what am I gonna do? I mean, I guess, listen, if there's just no space left in B tier, unless, you know, it's like you do what you have to do. I don't, like, there's nothing, I mean, my hands are tied here. It's like there's a vacancy in the A tier, and there's nowhere left in the B tier. Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm actually concerned, my computer is really hot. I'm like, this is probably fine. This poor computer, it's been through so much. How's it going? I hope everyone had a good break. I'm back. Oh, I'm back with some snacks, some more tea, and ready to explore more of this game. The music is so good. It's such a good song. It's such a good song. Alright. My computer is like a 12 right now. Alright, let's go. And we gotta write in our journal! Gustav finds a spot where he can be alone. He spends some time writing in his journal. He writes about how the arm they created for him was incredibly useful against water-type Nevrons. Hold on. Lots of lore here. Okay. Prosthetic arm was created by his assistants? His apprentices, excuse me. That's so cute. You had it stuck in your head during an economics exam? Oh no. And what the heck is a water-type Nevron? Do they show us where their types are? That's the biggest thing that's bothering me.
For those who come after.
Witness an optional scene. Oh my god, her guitar! She brought it with her? Are you serious? What? Do they have a pocket dimension that they're just carrying
Been a
around?
long time since I've seen you play.
A gestural village.
Yeah. I still can't believe they exist. I mean, what other fairy tales are real?
This is ultimately a war of information.
Whoa.
There's still too much we don't understand.
That line goes hard.
Where the paintress comes from? Why she does what she does? Who is she?
Mm-hmm.
70 years and we still barely know anything.
And the man on the beach? Yeah.
That's
Too
what I've
many
been
unknowns.
saying.
But if we take down the paintress, at least that gives future generations a chance to unravel the mystery.
You seem better than before.
Yeah. Holding it together. Shock's worn off.
Oh, what else can you do?
A bit. We
Beach
can't bring
boy.
anyone back. But I thought we can keep their spirit alive by pushing forward. And at least there's 3 of us now.
This time there's 3 of us. Dun, dun,
The mission
dun,
hasn't changed.
dun, dun. Anyway.
Tomorrow comes.
Tomorrow comes.
Yeah, I don't mind her flying. Because we see that she has magic. You know, it's the suspension of disbelief thing. You have to be internally consistent. It's okay when you have magic to do things that you've seen are possible with magic. I have not seen the magic allow us to open pocket dimensions and carry guitars around. So until I see that, it's gonna feel weird. That was cute though, I like that a lot.
Told you, Gestural.
You did not.
Yeah. Find the village. Cool. Yeah, am I the only one missing out here? You've got your own pocket dimension? Oh, I love the overworld. It's so fun. Bubbles! So these are all optional areas. Should we go back to the danger cave? Should we go back to the... Nah, let's go to the ancient... we'll go to the ancient...
Did Noko tell you anything more about the village? Other than red trees everywhere?
Well, it's pretty interesting.
Noko's not great with specifics.
We'll just have to think like Gestrels then.
Your beach quest, yeah, do you want to do it now? Where is it? Is it here somewhere? Should we go to the beach? We're going down there. I'm happy to go wherever. Oh, there's the Gestural Village. Whenever, let's do it now. Let's do it now. Let's go down to the beach. Let's go to the beach, let's go get away. Say what they're gonna say. I don't actually know the words to that. You know what? Every anime needs a good beach quest. Am I going the right way? No, I'm not. Okay. Every anime needs a good beach episode, and every game clearly needs a good beach quest. You never learned how to navigate? Yeah, me neither. Okay, that's where we came from. Can we not get there yet? Maybe we can't get there yet. I don't know if we can... Every good anime has a beach episode, it's true. Even Pokemon had a beach episode. Pokemon, I guess, had many beach episodes. So, by that logic, FMA is bad. Did Fullmetal Alchemist ever... They never had a beach episode? No way. Oh, before Mael rejoins. Oh my god! We recruited a Gestural! Cute. What is this? Yeah, okay, sure. The camera is very far from the people in the overworld area. Versus in this area. This is plot? Should I leave? I can leave. Okay. Should I leave? I like the music. Can I get out? I'll come back later then. What? In an RPG? I love RPGs. Well, if it would... I don't want to accidentally trigger plot. Can't have that. I don't know how to get to the beach, though. I don't think I can. No, I must be able to. Maybe it's on the other side. That's the thing. I think I really just like RPGs. I mean, I knew that already about myself, but I think I like them more than anything else. You know, if the homies don't like RPGs, they're not really homies. Hi, Fred. Hi, humans care for a good deal? Sure. Oh my god, an outfit for Gustav? Absolutely. An outfit? Oh, we can give them all their outfits. A haircut? Absolutely. Ta-ta! Yes, 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 yeah! Okay, alright. We'll try it out. We'll try it out. No, she looks so silly as a mime. Gustav could wear a suit. Everyone else has got to be serious. Hello! He looks so silly! I love it. I'm such a fan. What's that? Yeah, right? We're just back to the prologue. Alright, so this is not the beach. Now, exactly. Now they look like his bodyguards. We have to go to the beach that turns you old. Did anyone see that movie? Was it real? I swear it feels like it was a joke. Okay, so these things prevent you from going places you can't go to, which is nice. That's all. Yeah, I only know the meme. So I can't go down there yet. Or can I? No, I can't. You don't know the beach that makes you old? Where have you been, Deeded? Okay, I can't go there. That thing will kill me. I gotta fly. I'm getting tired of running. So Martina, yeah, I don't know how to get to the beach. Why don't we continue with the plot for now, and then if you figure out how we can get to the beach, I'll go there. I do like the music here. This is very nice. What's this? Where am I right now? Oh, well, there's something here. Or I could just keep wandering around. Hidden gestural area, sure. Maybe we should go to Gestural Village before I go to the hidden area. And we know that I am far from pure at heart. It's true, and I am happy about the suit. And the hair. Although, actually, he looks like he just stepped out of the shower. Maybe not the best look, but we'll keep it for the novelty. Oh, arena! Ah, I'm sure it'll be fun. Our top secret Gestural Fight Club! Show us what you've got, weaklings. Oh, I can only fight with one of them? Well, it's gotta be Gustav. Gustav carry. Wait, actually, sorry, I gotta switch my weapons. Let's go, Fight Club! Julian Tinyhead. This guy looks ridiculous. What on earth? Oh. Are you serious? Wait, are you serious? Are you joking? Let me try again here. Let's go with Bertrand Big Hands. His hands aren't that big. See? Alright, alright. Oh, I'm really gonna die. Okay. Or maybe I'll win. Don't doubt me. Oh, see? I've got a chance. I've got a chance. Nope, I got no chance. Don't die again. I can't promise anything. One more? Should we try one more? Maybe, Mael? No, she's only level 9. Go for the giant feet. He's not good. The feet aren't giant. Oh. Well, so much for that. All right. No more getting pummeled by these things. Time to move on to greener pastures. We'll come back. We'll come back. Oh, thank you. Perfect. Who did that? Shane, the funky skeleton, redeemed sad trombone. Oh my god. Emerging from, wow, you know what? I deserve that. Welcome on in. How are you? How are you doing? Thank you for celebrating my humiliation. How have you been? Ugh, okay. So that's not gonna work out. We'll go somewhere else. I'll go somewhere I've wanted. You feel old? Imagine how I feel. Listen, we're all on Twitch in 2025, so you're not alone. Look at the names in this chat. You know? We're all still here. What's new? What are you got any life updates you want to share? Okay, so what's over here? Oh, we could go to the danger caves this time, maybe. I don't even know. You're 21 now? Oh my god! Your profile still says 18. That's crazy. Who's we? Deeded's not here. Deeded has not been here for the last 5 years. What are you talking about? Well, happy 3 birthdays, or however many I missed. Look at all these cuties. Oh, they've got paintbrush heads! They've got paintbrush heads! Redwood's danger. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. I get it now. They've got little paintbrush heads. Welcome back, Martine. Did you get your food? Look at the age of my account. My account in despair. How long have you been on Twitch, Core? Can I check? I gotta check now. I'm so curious. I've only been here since 2020. I am not a Twitch elder. I died at least 3 times. What are you talking about? Look at the age. Oh my god, Core. That's crazy. Your Twitch account is in middle school now, almost. Beautiful. Beautiful scenery. 11 years old. Wild. Let's kill some guys. I gotta get a win. I gotta feel powerful again. No flying, guys, thank goodness. What, now she's going first? What is this? I'm so confused, the order of everyone is switched. I gotta relearn my whole strategy. But this is fine. It's easy. Okay. Nice. Oh. Nope. 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 All right. Missed all of those. Oh my god.
Get ready.
This is not going well. I thought this was gonna be just an easy fight. Whoops. She can't revive. Oh my goodness, okay. Okay. Alright.
Lune, watch out!
Alright, alright, alright. No. Nice. Okay. Nope. Nope. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so bad. Easy fight. Should have got in the danger cave. Would have been better off there. Yikes. This is crazy. Okay.
That hurts.
Yeah, no kidding. He's fine. Okay.
Ready to evade.
Okay, I have not successfully parried this once. So I will not even try. Gustav, carry. Nope. Okay, okay, cool. Gustav. He's my favorite. Yeah, they wanted the beach episode. We all wanted the beach episode. Whatever happened to the beach episode? You know what? Dude, you deserve this.
For those who come up.
Satisfying. Male died, but that's okay. She'll come back. Weapon upgrade. Ooh. Hello, thank you for the bits. Get dunked on, honestly. What is going on here? Thank you so much. Oh, I don't want her to leave the party. Would Twitch let me donate $1? Oh, I can. Okay, perfect. I didn't realize you could upgrade the weapons just by as I say it, now I'm realizing how stupid that is, but I'm glad you can upgrade the weapons just by fighting with them. That makes things easier. Okay, so what was I was looking at her Demina. Indeed, indubitably. Oh wait, his sword got upgraded too? So it was, okay, so it wasn't a worthless fight, except for her. Oh, sick. Oh my god, okay. Now we're just carting around mail.
An advantage.
Oh, and he's dead. And Gustav is dead, everyone. Sank in quicksand. Okay, so I haven't found the, you've looked up the way to the beach for next time? Okay. You don't want to do it now? They have such cool, it's true. The weapons look so good. Everything looks so good in this game. Oh, my chat is glitching. Okay, that's fine. Fine, we'll survive, we'll survive. Your Wi-Fi, at least it's not my Wi-Fi. Good luck. Godspeed. You're not the boss? I mean, it's like, I'll do whatever anyone tells me to do, honestly. Isn't that the point of streaming? Okay, I'm gonna go to the Gestral village. Because why not? Because why don't we just follow what the game wants me to do? What a crazy notion. Copy paste from Google. No, I won't do whatever Google tells. I'll do whatever human beings will tell me to do.
That's a lot of red trees to search.
They must have some sort of track or trail leading to the village.
Wait, I hear something.
It's all about the human connection.
Okay.
Oh, nice, dude. Do I have a Taco Bell sound alert? I don't know if I heard anything. That's news to me. Head northwest of Ancient Sandura. Okay. Stream is at 360p. Okay, I'll try really hard not to do anything too cool. For you. Oh, I saw someone streaming this exact part yesterday. Now I know where we are. It's called Blurp. I know I have some Blurp set up. But I think those are all channel points. So feel free to, well, you gotta get the channel points first, but... Agility and might. Seems like a good combination. Her defense could probably go up more. Huh! What do you gotta say? You can say anything here. Well, it wasn't a stream it was on the Steam page, or it wasn't yesterday. Wow! Okay, I did hear that one. Wow! That's perfect. I love it. We need more anime sound effects on this stream, honestly. It was just the stream that was on the Steam page for the game before I bought it. And I just was curious. Hello. I gotta make sure my sound effects are louder. Wow! Thermal transfer. I just need group heal. So, I watched literally 2 seconds of it, and it was just, the streamer was like, is this a friend?
I'm not dead!
I'm not dead! Not yet. You will be. What? Who said that? Certainly not me. And I imagine this is not a friend. Oh, maybe it is. Oh!
Do it!
Oh, hello. Okay, still not gonna kill me. Oh, never mind, it is. Pétanque. Oh god. What you should have announced your— yeah, I'm not dead. Love that. Love it. Love a good multi-hit attack. Why do they keep changing orders? I'm so confused. Did I get rid of her ice spell? I did, darn it. Oh, thank you. Now I feel triumph. Thank you, Cor. Have I ever played Petanque? No. What is that? What? I don't even know. Is that a game? I mean, I assume it's a game. Oh, it's a sport! It falls into the category of bull sport. Oh, I know this game. Oh, I actually have played this, I think. Or at least I've seen people play it. I've been close to the playing. Yeah, we're getting all the sounds. It reminds me every so often, I really just have to clean out all the sounds on it. But I think it's probably, I need to do a better job with the sounds on the channel, making sure that you can hear them. Okay. I don't know anything about this. I don't trust this little ball. But we're gonna put on our defense.
Take him down.
A storm is coming.
Why is this random mini boss here? Low damage, low damage. Did I just hear a trumpet? Or a skull trumpet? Oh my god. Oh, nice. Targeted burning. Excellent. Gains 3. It's so cute. Oh my god, I love it. Oh my god, look at all the little balls! We'll flee in 3 turns? Oh, that's not fair. That's not fair. We gotta get it. We gotta kill it. It's like one of those things in Elden Ring. This is bro's natural habitat? Fair enough. Fair— listen. Okay, listen, okay? Listen.
Lightning, strike.
I think we got this. 200% damage dealt. I think we just have to do probably just a basic attack here. We can aim, maybe. No. Oh my god. Gain 6 shields? No! The ancient ones in chat know if John Madison still streams. Well, I don't know who that person is. I'm kidding. He doesn't stream anymore. But he always kind of pops up. Like, he doesn't stream regularly. I don't think half this chat doesn't know who that is. But he's still, like, every 6 to 12 months he'll pop up out of the void. Kind of like you did. But not the same way in the old days. Alright, skills. 5 hits, alright. I can just get it to burn.
Let's spill some ink.
Okay, skills. Oh, I'm not in virtuose stance anymore. 9 shields? I'm never gonna get this thing. Wait, hold on. Sorry, I don't know what Automod even blocked. And Caitlin's not here. Automod blocked. Sorry. I forgot. But yeah, Shane, to your deleted message, yes. It's true. There's been a lot more going on these days outside of the internet. Yeah, I mean, Core, you're not exactly wrong. Why'd you get nerfed? I banned one of those words because I think I got tired of people talking about it, but up to you to guess which one it was. Alright. Well, I'm never gonna get overcharged this way. That's so funny. That is so funny. Okay, skills.
Thunder. Finesse and grace.
The word in question is owl. Could you imagine if I banned the word owl and then anyone coming to the channel? Deep roads? No, I love the deep roads. Corey, you're not gonna get it. We all hate the word fair, exactly. You just have to use every word from that message in a subsequent message until you can figure out which one it was. I think I'll get it if I can do overcharge. Maybe. We might have this. We might have.
Those who come off.
No! Oh, we killed it! You know what it is, yeah. The thing is, I do ban random words. I just forgot about this one. I'm not opposed to it. I think it's just a question of, you know, striking out my own identity as a channel. Binary search. Mustache, different channel. Minecraft, different channel. Thank you. I'm so glad I kicked the ball. I scored a goal. Alright, cool. I don't know why I killed that thing, but it felt good. You probably know what it is. Not hard to guess. Whee! It's so pretty here. I think I see oh. It's so funny that Automod didn't even let me, like, accept it. Oh, this is another curator type character. They do have petals around them, so they are... I mean, I guess we know that they're painted. Yeah, I mean, clearly it was aggressing me. Another expedition. 33. Others have passed through here? Expeditioners, creations, gestrels. Everyone used to pass through here. A place of joy. I miss laughing with everyone. What? What? Who are you talking about? Oh! Hello, Drake! Oh, thank you for the sub! Oh, come on in. Good to see you. I'm so confused. What's going on? Something something. This is lore. This is lore right now. And we're gonna figure it out one way or the other. How are you doing, Drake? Hope you're having a cool Sunday. All those emojis. Well, I put on an emoji wall, you know. Okay, hold on. Check this out. Dean is like, I can't see anything. Too many emojis. Okay. I'm writing down a codex entry. Not a codex entry. Quick lore journal check-in. So there's this young boy. So another looks like the curator. Hole in face. Petals floating around. Remembers people. So we have Ray something and Clay something. And I assume this will come back at some point, maybe, hopefully, I don't know. What were their names? Why do I forget? Everything is washed away. The boy has gone silent. Oh my god, so creepy. So beautiful. Oh my gosh. Gustav, get out of the way. I'm trying to take an artsy picture. Whatever. Why doesn't this game have photo mode? What's with that? You telling me an indie studio couldn't put photo mode into their gorgeous masterpiece? The second time? Do we know that boy?
That's a lot of dead now.
Will we know that boy? Nevron alert. Uh-oh.
I don't see
I
any.
think they mean us.
They must be Gestrels. They're cute, but they're idiots.
Well, I can't do a photo.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my god, they're giant.
We're not Nevrons!
Oh my god. Man, boss fight after boss fight here.
Ready to parry.
A clunky combo. Oh, I had to jump. Oh, geez, okay. Well, that sure was a clunky combo. Oh, now I have all of my skill points. All right.
Roma is flowing.
People probably would have called it woke if they put in a photo mode. For the meta reasons, so that's fair. Oh, thank you for the vine boom. They couldn't put in a photo mode because the paintress wouldn't allow it. That's fair. Okay. She's got 6? Wow.
Ready to parry.
Strikes with its dead partner? That's crazy. There are no photos here, but it's like the 18th. It's gotta be. We've gotta be into the 20th century. So Daguerre already, like, they already invented the photo. Cameras exist. What else have they lost? Okay, what am I doing here?
Let the ink flow. Feel the burn.
On guard.
On guard. Got 8. Wow. Robust. Oh god. Oh god. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. All right. Raises its shield. Oh come on. Deal more damage. Eh.
Brace yourself.
Oh my
Let's
god.
push forward.
Oh my god. Okay. I can't overcharge. Oh. Okay.
Let's push forward.
Fine. It's 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 fine. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, that was fun. Well, I got a new weapon. My elk keeps dying. I probably need to keep her alive to level her up. Aww. A little baby.
Don't worry. We don't want to hurt you, Patat. No
Patat?
co-sentence.
Kapatate. Oh, de loko te kepate. Oh, hati loko ke parka de pe sakapatate.
If you guide us to your village,
Lero maricor. Okay, deal. Pero kare mi bo sakapatat. Ni sugama bi de virageo.
Guide us to your village, and maybe he'll make you
The
something
arm is not
better.
for sale.
Wait, what are you?
Cheri sakakipo?
Trust me. I hate liars.
Okay, deal. Gama vive. Leko gami sakapatat. I gomi haloputu.
You're better with gestrels than humans.
They're
Rude.
less complicated.
Okay, hold on. The Eiffel Tower was built in the 1880s. Photography definitely existed. If they have the Eiffel Tower, at least rudimentary photography existed in the 1860s. There are Civil War photos. I'm calling shenanigans.
Yeah.
Unless I might have my history totally screwed up. That's definitely possible. But I'm going based on the Eiffel Tower. Okay. Oh good, she's finally level 10. There were photos back then? Okay. I'm not completely ignorant. Just mostly. Okay, we can't. Oh, she can unlock something. No, we're saving up for group heal. Don't let me unlock anything for Lune if it's not group heal. Kodak was up by the year after the tower. Oh, yeah. Wow. Wait, now I'm so curious what year. So if the Eiffel Tower exists and that was 100 years ago, this isn't at earliest this is taking place in the 1990s. Which is hilarious. Could you imagine if this is what the 90s were like? I don't remember it that way. A lot less, honestly the fashion was not as cool in the 90s as it is in this game. Oh, secret area? Oh, look, a friend. You know what? I'm not gonna kill every creature I see now. I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm turning over a new leaf, chat. Ah, that sounds like me. Oh, she just pulled out a... That's cool. Oh, God. Jump scare. Thunder thingies. Oh!
Take cover.
Oh god. Where's the Crystal Pepsi? The 1990s? Oh wait, no, sorry, it hasn't been 67. No, wait, hold on. Wait. 100 years. Wait. No, not the 1990s. But in the 1950s, so the Eiffel Tower was built in the 1880s, okay? So at some point after that, the fracture happened, and we called it the year 100. And it's been 67 years from the year 100. So we're somewhere in the 20th century. That's how math works. We might not be in the 1990s because that would have put us in the 30s, and they probably didn't live through World War I. So we're maybe in the 70s? Yeah, 1889 bare minimum if the tower was finished. Right. Don't they keep bringing back Crystal Pepsi? I don't know. Would not be surprised. Okay.
Let me help.
Powerful.
Let's spill some ink.
And we'll be guarded.
Shields up.
Alright, we are buffing our party. I don't think we need to heal just yet. Oh, nice.
On me.
Get ready.
1997 and it's the one in Vegas. I mean, I'm so confused by so much of this game. Unless we're thinking... Well, their style is kind of Edwardian. Although they're in France, so I don't know what I'm, you know. But...
Let's spill some
trying to think of like what era they might have been trapped in, you know? Is it burning? No, it's not burning. Whoa. It is really weak to fire. Why am I even bothering with lightning? I'm not. I feel bad hurting these guys. Hold on.
Brace yourselves.
I mean, they're friendly, right? Ah, yes, the 1890s, back when the Crystal Pepsi first came out. Oh, Belle Epoque, right. Which, wait a second. Belle Epoque just came up in conversation recently. Is there some show that's coming out that's taking place in... This just came up. Pepsi actually might have... No, Coke was in the 1890s. I think Coke existed in the 1890s. So catchy. I think I'm gonna heal myself? Yeah. Oh.
Lune, watch out! Get ready. Lune, watch out!
Oh, it's like dead. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Coke when it was actually Coke. Oh, and I missed it again. You know, back when they had the good stuff. New weapon, excellent.
Nice.
New picto. Ooh, okay. Alright, chat. What time period would you want to travel to if you had a time machine? And just to get it, because I know you're all the kind of people who are gonna say, you've got vaccinations for all the diseases you might run into when you travel back in time, so don't let that change your mind. However, existing power structures are in place, so if you are a member of a marginalized group, that's a consideration. But disease, don't worry about it. Miss the morphine and cough medicine. Yeah, you know, back when they had real medicine. You are all too smart. That's true. You're all too smart for me. Okay, what? Oh, we've got so many of these. Okay, attack, lifesteal. I think she's gotta have. Yeah, because I keep forgetting to dodge, so. Victorian era, feed a child McDonald's Sprite! And then just go home, and then that's it. The only option is the future. I guess that's fair. Also, I like running water. That's my biggest thing. I mean, other than the fact that people were terrible back then, I like running water. Okay, increase critical chance, apply shell. I'm not really using mark that. No, I am. I am using that one. Free aim, free aim, free aim. Oh, he's like a... We're just going all in on free aim. Give an early hominid a lighter. They would go bananas. They'd be so excited. I would kind of... Actually, that's the thing. Like, if I had vaccines and wouldn't need to worry about... I would go back, like, way, way back. Way, way back. Hey, Alani, welcome back. Put lithium back in 7-Up. Did it used to be in 7-Up? I don't know how the human race has survived this long. Oh my god. That's nuts. Trebuchet. Ooh. Okay, sure. Show a random Roman soldier dancing fruit. They'd be so excited, I think. They would have such a great time. You'd go to Greece. Write some god fanfics. Yeah, back when slash fanfic was just, you know, the norm. Like, I would go back to Pangea, probably. I'd love to see some megafauna. I gotta be honest with you all. It would be super cool. Not dinosaur. I don't want to go back to dinosaur time. I would be scared of dinosaurs, but I'd love to see from far away, like just the big mammals, you know? Go back to the 70s. I'd go back to the 70s and probably, no, the 90s and get some Apple stock. you know? But man, it would all be long-term capital gains, so the taxes wouldn't even be that bad. The big slots, yeah. It was removed in the late 1940s. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's great. Oh my god, lithium in 7-Up. I didn't even know 7-Up was that old, actually. Lithium in 7-Up. Oh, we went back to the beginning. Coke and Coke. What a world. What a wonderful world. How did I get back here? Where did I come from? Oh, I see. Okay. Let's go find the village, shall we? Gonna draw anime spoilers on Cave. Could you imagine spoiling Death Note and then years later someone finds it? Can I get down there? Ooh. I don't know why I picked Death Note, because I can't even remember what happened in Death Note. So that's maybe not a good choice.
Nice.
Why burn on hitting a marked enemy? Ooh, that's actually kind of good. Let's see. I burn on a marked enemy. There we go. Take one for the team and prevent Reagan from... I literally would go back... I mean, Reagan would be great, but even if I could only go back 30 years... Bush v. Gore, you know? Like, if we could have had Gore as president... I don't know, maybe it would have all turned out terrible in the end anyway, but you have to hope. You have to think... Gore would have been better than Bush. My god. Then I would have gotten Dan Quayle. Well, no, Dan Quayle was VP. Like, I would have killed... Was it HW? So that Dan Quayle would have been the president, just because he was so funny. The things that came out of that man's mouth. Okay, did I come to this one already? Do it for Margaret Thatcher? Oh my god. Oh, we've been here before. We've been here before. Potato chip scene? True! The potato chip scene's the only part of that anime worth saving. I despise Death Note. Feet! So how do you all feel about this? In comparison. I feel like that's more egregious. Thatcher wouldn't last a day if I could go back. That's not even true. Oh, it'd be nice. It's a nice thought. Okay. So that brings us back to, okay, that's where we started from. This? Is that a dragon? I can't actually tell what that is. I see a hand. Alright. Deprive the world of a gender-neutral toilet? Wait, sorry, how does that relate to Margaret Thatcher? Yeah, bring Margaret Thatcher just to SoCal and try to have her survive a summer day. Gojo panel from... I don't know that one. Her grave! Oh, true. True. And, I mean, the fact that when she died, Ding Dong the Witch is Dead topped the UK charts. I mean, some things are too funny. I mean, not, you know... Does it wipe away all the damage she caused? No. Is it really funny? Yes. Come on. Stop moving, stop moving, stop moving, stop moving. Yeah. I gotta start doing better combos. Wait, so is it her that has the mark? Oh, now I don't remember.
On guard.
With its mighty electric sword. I want a mighty electric sword. What's going on there? Probably be the same as a Victorian child. Ireland was setting off fireworks when Lizzie went out too. Good for them. Look at the way it moves. Oh my god. Look at the way. Stop. I'm obsessed with this. Honestly, me. This is what I do when I'm waiting in line. Just little shimmy side to side. Oh, that's amazing.
Let the ink flow.
Okay, so she's got lots of skill points. And it's resistant to electricity, which is unfortunate. Oh, so I can free shoot them. Oh, it's moving so fast! Oh god. Nice. Oh, I think I can kill it right now. Look at this.
Feel the burn.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna... Yes, we did it! We did it! Finally! Yo, Shane, stay safe in the storm. Barbecue, enjoy your barbecue. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for all the bits. I really appreciate it. It's really great to see you again. Take care. Alright. Cool. Oh, I forgot we can upgrade stuff. Ugh, take it easy. And yo, if that other guy ever streams again, we'll see you there. Okay, where are we going? Ooh. I think I'll never fully unlock all the secrets of this game because I just can't figure out where I'm going.
Fascinating.
How do they even stand?
Oh, okay, that's something I can probably get to.
Well, that will help.
I gotta go around. Okay. Oh boy. I can't let them sneak up on me. I gotta sneak up on them. Oh, get ready.
Brace yourself.
The music is just so good. It's so varied. Like, there's just so much of it. Come on. Oh no, I missed. Oh my god. Okay, perfect.
Feel the burn.
I need to swap out her skills because she doesn't. The electric skills really are worthless here. Oh my god. That was bad. Hidden blade, what? Ah! How do I even parry that? Exhausted. Nice, okay.
I'm ready. Okay.
Oh my god, okay, so I can do it earlier. Oh, so pretty. Oh my god. How do I get the purple thing?
Ugh. This place is confusing.
Agreed.
They built it to make their village harder to find.
Oh. I see a village over there. I'm gonna go the wrong way. Because the wrong way often rewards you.
We can use that.
They have a good gig here, yeah. I wouldn't mind living here. It's like a nice place. Why would they make it look climbable? That's just cruel. That's cruel, game developers. Don't do that. Don't do that. Fine. Ooh. Oh, have I missed journals? Whoa! What just happened? Oh! Oh, shortcut. Does that help me at all? Not really. Oh well. Okay, I think we're gonna get to the village and do whatever's in the village, and then I'll probably call it a day. This is a wonderful game. This looks promising. A great place for a boss battle. Oh, okay. So I won't miss anything if I do that.
They sound like kids.
We must be getting close to the village.
Oh, actually, he looks sharp with that haircut. I'm gonna keep it.
Kinda looks the same as all the others.
Hey, Mael.
Invisible. Rimekoro no Shigama. Invisible.
Hey, don't get cocky, Mael. Look at its equipment. That looks a lot more dangerous than
Yeah.
yours. No, seriously.
I like that he's taking the, he's like, okay, teachable. Teachable moment. Oh, that was a cool transition.
Okay.
The music is insane!
Let us stain them.
Oh, and I forgot to change her skills again. That's fine.
Okay.
Oh, we had to dodge that. Oh, it's only when... Okay. Oh, I didn't get the parry bonus for that. Bummer.
Let the ink flow.
What if you went bald? No. Yeah, the bun was not bad. I mean, the bun was not good. Oh my god, the bun was not good. Not bald. Not my poor boy going bald. Whatever. Oh, and I should have changed her weapon too. I'm so bad at this. Wow, good for her. Takes the fight seriously.
I'm ready.
Oh god. Alright, alright. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, okay. Gustav burns. Oh, Lune is gonna die. Okay. Alright, okay. Okay.
Brace yourselves.
Whew. All right, I'm starting to figure out the cues. Oh, sorry, Deeded. What did you say? Kill all the French people. Automod did not like the kill all the French. Might put up a veil to seal the expedition and kill it right if he goes bald. That's so funny. I'm trying! Gustav is really burning. Okay.
For those who come after.
Weak spot is exposed. Okay. You know what? No. Not worth it. Ottoman does not approve of French people. Only kill some of the French people, yeah. Is stunned? Excellent, okay. Weak spot is exposed. No! Okay. That's a lot of damage from burning. I do like her animations a lot. Oh!
Danger!
Hey! Hey! Here we go. Here we go. Oh, okay. From fire. Is it still burning? It is not still burning. Let's get powerful.
Get ready.
This is good practice for Jeopardy, the reflexes. Right, she's got 4.
Feel the burn.
Time to hit.
I'm in defensive stance.
On fire.
Oh, I could probably parry that. I don't have to be afraid. I like that they give you an oral and a visual cue for that. That's nice.
For those who come after.
Weak spot is exposed. Okay. Oh my god! Cool. Okay. That was awesome. Oh, are you kidding me? You haven't seen my final form yet. Launches some weird electrical thing. Harriet? Okay, bad advice, girl. Bad advice.
Precision.
Brace yourselves.
That was fun. That was a good. I like a fight that I was in no danger of losing, but still makes me feel powerful. You know? They're just little guys. Garbage.
Chef.
Gonna fight another one? They do. Well, and the gameplay designers too. Gustav looks so funny running around in his suit. He looks so silly. I got an achievement. Increased break damage? I don't want break damage. What am I gonna do with break damage? Alright. This is good. I assume we're moving through the game very slowly, but I still feel like we're moving through it. Oh, I have to go to the Lumina screen. Oh. Can I go to camp? Let's go to camp. Passive effect can be equipped on all characters via the Lumina menu. I gotta go to the Lumina menu. Where the heck is the Lumina menu? Oh my god, there's too much. There's too much. Lumina. Oh! I wasn't actually getting any of these effects the whole time! Oh my god! Okay, Luminas are passive effects you can activate once you have mastered the corresponding Pictos. A Pictos is mastered after winning 4 battles with it equipped. Luminas are learned for all characters at the same time and can be activated by multiple characters. Oh my god, you know what? We're not even 10 hours into the game. I think this is pretty good, actually, for learning a basic mechanic. I think that's pretty good. Luminas activated by currently equipped Pictos can't be deactivated. It's just, there's so much. There's so much. But that's what Lumina points are for the characters. That makes sense now. Alright, alright. So let me give him... No, I don't want that. For him. This. This. No. Rewarding mark. This is crazy. Fighting out immediately after. I have, what can I say? I have good timing. Nope, nope, go back, go back. Don't want this. It all makes so much more sense now. Oh my god. No. That's crazy. Yeah, the timing clip. I love the timing clip. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. Song time.
Told you, Jestrel.
You did not.
Well, I thought it.
Oh, is there nothing new here? We do have a new friend, though. Let's see. It's such a good song. It's really catchy. This is gonna go in my Spotify rap, probably. Oh, did we get new skills? No. No new skills, okay. Okay, I gotta find the little Jestrel buddy. And I gotta go to the curator. Oh, hello, friend. Does he not want to talk to me? Aw. Aw, I can't talk to him. That's so sad. Oh, but I can talk to you. Sastro. One very specific 11-minute long track? Okay. Are you the one who was supposed to watch over the lost Jestrel kids? Isn't it obvious? Yeah, it's me. You've done a very poor job. Such disrespect. Can't you see I'm sad? Okay, okay, sorry. Wait, you're expeditioners. Yes. Perfect. You like killing stuff, exploring the world, and then dying, right? Yeah. I need your help. You've heard of the Lost Jestrels, right? The Jestrels who disappeared after the fracture, the ones the searchers are searching for? Well, when the searchers find one, I watch over them until someone from the village comes to pick them up. But 9 of these mischievous imps ran away from me. Well, until you brought one back. Oh, look at that. Side quest. Where could they be now? I'm not gonna be mean. Okay, if you see them, they'll come back. Blah, blah, blah. What? No, who would trick someone like that? Thanks. Here, take what I already owe you. New outfit! New outfit. Oh, yes. So worth it. So worth it. Amazing. Gestural hair. We're keeping it. So stupid. Oh my god. Okay. Now, where's the curator? Where's the curator? I thought he was there. Wait, is he not here anymore? The one ugly hat? Yeah, I'm keeping it on, obviously. Wait, did I lose the curator? I wanted to upgrade stuff. Is he gone? Well, now I gotta babysit a bunch of kids rather than upgrade my weapons? Oh, here we go. Yeah, I do actually. Upgrade weapons. Okay. 210? Oh, wow. And I've got 10 of these now. Wow. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna have to be careful now. I've got so much more stuff. Let's keep our ice weapon powerful too. Is there any reason for her to use a physical weapon? Because fire's good for her. Yeah, okay, what the heck. 237. Crazy. I'm gonna go mad with power. Okay, fire versus lightning. Fire skills go- oh, okay. Generate a random stain. I still don't understand how stains work. Alright. And I got another... No, I didn't... Okay. We just gotta get to the village and then I'm gonna leave. Look at that! It's so stupid, oh my god.
I'm not sure.
So stupid, can you believe that? I like that we always get a chance to write in the journal. He writes about the crazy inventions the Jestrels came up with and that they could learn some things from them. He hopes that one day...
For those who come after.
I'm keeping it on. He promised he would journal, and he will. I'm keeping the hair. Alright, where do we go now? Into the village. Okay, let's do the village. And then we'll be good. It's so interesting that they decided to do this too. They didn't have to. They could have. I mean, I guess that's easier. Oh, it's so soft. I can hear it though. It's so soft though, which really defeats the purpose of that sound alert. So I'll have to fix that. I'll add it to the list. Fix the YouTube streams. Fix the sound alerts. Hey.
Look at it. Look at it. Oh, banana, sita.
First time this life, I got revived at the Sacred River not too long ago. I'm only 6.7 hours old. That's interesting.
Oh.
Thank you, little one. Time to train. You should train too. I'm serious. You really need to train. Train? Hi. Welcome to the Gestural Village. Expeditioners, eh? You're a fun-looking bunch. That's Sophie. Don't even joke. Unless you try to cause problems, then we'll beat you up, which will be fun for me, but not for you. Noted. Me, I'm a nice brush. Doesn't mean I wouldn't go for a nice little brawl with you. It's going to be like this everywhere, huh?
It's really a village of Gestrals.
Whoa.
They seem better at surviving than humans.
I guess intelligence is not a prerequisite for survival on the continent.
How long have I played this game
Now
for
to find
in
the chief's
total?
house.
Wait, are you serious? No, you're joking, right? Are you serious? Steam says 7.1 hours? So is this like, but that includes from before the Gommage. Oh my god, are all of the Gestrals reborn? Wait, they called it something, the Sacred something or other? Hold on. Stop everything. Stop. 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 What? Is this a codex thing? Or is this a theory? You're utterly ignorant about this. I'm utterly ignorant about this too. Maybe this plays in with the Paintress not being evil though. Theory 3A. The Gommage takes the life energy from humans and uses it to create Gestral's nevrons. We met a Gestral in the village who said they were just born 6.7 hours ago. Yeah, I was like, that's weirdly specific. That lines up more or less with how long ago in our playtime the Gommage happened. Sacred paint, I forget what it was called. Sacred painting something or other. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. That's crazy. Call that a curious mind.
Probably the biggest one.
The rarity. You guys are so slow. I went on many other adventures and still I beat you here. Hi, Nako. Alright, I'm gonna go to the chief first before I go to the village. Before I do all the other stuff.
Hello.
You may not come in. Oh, okay. You may come in. Oh, okay. Hey guys. Oh, they're doing push-ups. So you're the warriors who demolished our ultimate Sakapate? Sakapatate.
It wasn't that strong.
I see. Well, you've earned my respect. What can I do for you? Are you the chef? The chef? The name's Golgra.
There's so many questions I'd love to ask.
We need to get to the Paintress. Noko said you could help us cross the sea.
Human, still so obsessed with the
Others
Paintress.
have passed through here.
You have your expeditions every few years, hard to keep track. You follow the way the plot pushes you just for a little longer, you hit the good ending point. Okay. Do you not have your own boat? How did you
A
get here in the
white-haired
first
man
place?
destroyed it.
You survived? My respect.
You know him.
He attacked the village once. Some of us survived somehow. Okay, you have no boat in that case. Oh, it's Esqui. Okay, so we're gonna go back there.
So Esquier exists.
Oh, Esquia, excuse me. Esqui. Yeah, we went there first. We need a password. Esquia could accidentally eat you. Doesn't know its own strength.
We already defeated your ultimate Sakapatat.
We'll have to enter our legendary tournament to get the password. This is the gestural way. I don't want to do the legendary. I don't want to fight them today. I'm tired. Wait a minute. Oh, and you also fight the stranger, the mysterious stranger. Wait, can I do the fight? You know what? Let's do the fight. We'll end on a fight. Let's go. Let's just do it.
Lead the way.
I can do it, I'm sure. After 6 hours. How long have we been going? 5 hours? Oh, the fight is the point? So are you saying I shouldn't do it? No, I'm gonna do it. I never like to begin on a big fight. I like to end on a fight. YOLO. Let's just make sure we are equipped to handle anything. Got a few more Luminas. We've got the hair. We're ready. Burning shots. Cleansing. SOS shell. Yeah, okay. Don't let Mael die with ugly hair, it'll stick. Oh god. Any good new Pictos? Breaker. No. Oh my god, it's so bad. It's really so bad. That's crazy. At least she isn't bald. Do these guys resist ice? Probably. Okay. We know they resist electricity. I should have upgraded this one. Okay, that's fine. Okay, Solus. Let's go. You want to register for the tournament? So far we've got sign-ups from a mysterious new warrior. Count us in. One-on-one fights only? Oh god. Bertrand Big Hands. I don't know if we're ready for this. Well, let's give it a try. A new warrior? Who could that be? Surely someone we have never met before and won't be significant in any way.
Finesse and grace.
Mael can get something interesting here. Oh wow, okay Mael. Okay Mael, let's go!
On fire. On me.
Oh, jeez. Wow, they were so much harder in the other one. Go off, mime girl. You won, wow. Next time won't be so easy, I'm sure. Dominique Giant Feet. I think Mael is our duelist, it just makes sense. Oh, that was really bad. Sorry.
Finesse and grace.
Way too early.
Flames.
Oh my
On
god.
me.
My timing is all over the place. There we go.
Aya.
Yeah, Mael with the fire sword. Yeah, at 16, she does look like she's in Trolls. Oh my god. She really does.
From fire. Ready to parry.
I was not ready to parry. Look, she's got matching hair with them. It's really cute. This is good. You won. Wow, this is literally straight out of Knights of the Old Republic. Right, all the way down to the mysterious stranger duelist. I can't... This is my favorite... Oh, this is good. This is good. This is good. Okay. Sounds like Alan Tudyk. Mathieu. Oh.
Finesse and grace. Ready to parry.
I have not been ready to parry this whole time. I am what the kids might call over-leveled, possibly. I don't know. I feel good either way.
From fire.
Also, I got a really good combo going here. Nope. Nope. Oh my god, I have not parried a single attack.
From fire.
No! Okay, at least I dodged. At least I dodged.
Finesse and precision.
I mean, Mael, I've put a lot into Mael at this point. Hilarious. Next time won't be so easy. I don't know. Might as well. Mysterious new warrior. Well, the mysterious new warrior might not be a Gestrel. I like the juxtaposition of those. You know what? We're doing well with Mael. I gotta keep going. It's CL! It's CL! I knew it! 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 Oh my god! Yes! Sorry, I would have guessed early. I knew it as soon as they said she. Which wasn't that early.
CL?
It wasn't that early, unfortunately, but I knew it.
What? How?
So now we gotta fight her?
You guys? You're alive! I thought I was the only one left.
I told you she couldn't die. She looks like a main character.
I knew you were resourceful.
Yeah,
How
time
did
to
you get
demolish
here?
her too. Okay, sure.
They're expecting a bit of a show.
CL join the party.
Oh, we?
Oh, she's cool. She's cool. Isn't the hair great? Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. I don't think I'm ready to fight her. Especially when my controller disconnects. Alright, so I'm blaming the lack of dodging on the controller. Let's get this baby bumping. Now die. Oh my god, best friend, die. Let's try this again, shall we? It's so funny. Why do they even let you do this hair? This is incredible. Okay. Twilight Slash. Whoa. Okay. She's so cool. I love that she's got cards and stuff. That's so fun. She's burning, which means we can switch.
From fire.
Sorry, Sael. You are gonna get wrecked by a 16-year-old. She didn't get one hit on me. Oh my god. Sorry, guys. girls. I know this is getting boring. I'm too good at the game. Look at her hair! Amazing. Amazing! Mael wins. The Jestrels offer the champion a special weapon. Oh, so I could have done it with anyone, I guess.
Well,
But I'm
that
glad.
wasn't so bad.
Yeah, that was easy.
Yeah, it really just felt like beating old people.
So it
That's
wasn't
so.
so bad.
I didn't get it,
So
darn
bad.
it.
Am I one of those old people?
Yes.
One day, I hope. Hey, how'd you end up here?
Oh, after the beach, I ended up in an odd yellow forest, not too far from here. Had to dodge a few Nevrons, but luckily I met a Gestrel who guided me here. What about you?
I don't know why this feels less suspicious than Mael's story.
Well, I woke up next to a waterfall.
Because I guess they all ended
can
up
talk
just
later.
somewhere random. Wow, that
Let's get back to
the
Goldra.
sound design there. Maybe I can't trust
No
Lune.
time to lose.
Maybe she's the puppet master. Because she found Gustav. Interesting. New weapon. Yes. Tutorial and then we finish.
Ready.
Is everyone named after celestial things? Yes. Ciel, Moon, Gustav. Ciel can apply and consume foretell on enemies. Okay. Consumes, applies. Okay. The saxophone is
Here's your
great.
card. Try me.
Oh. One sunshine. This is ridiculous. Why do they just keep adding more things? Yeah, Sophie, Emma, all celestial things. I can't learn all of this, I'm sorry. Gain action points? Ooh.
I saw your future.
Wait, that's amazing. Oh, that was too early. Too early. Okay, fine. Fine. They're people? Yeah, but does every person need to have a completely separate magic system? At least Gustav's makes sense. Like, charge, overcharge. Charge, overcharge. That's it. That's it. What does this mean, enter Twilight? Oh my god. Is she in Twilight right now? 2 turns left. She's in Twilight. Okay. Applies more foretell. Okay. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. You start out with the simplest character. Oh, and she's level 15. CL carry? CL carry. You return as champions. Well done. Okay, the password is get out of my way.
The password is get out of my way.
Very Gestrelish.
Shout out the password and soon
As
you will.
loud as we can.
Oh my god, amazing.
Got it.
Thank you for everything.
Try not to die
Gestural
soon.
positivity is so heartwarming.
Oh,
Thanks,
nice.
Chef.
Will I win the duel? Can't hurt, right? You have a death wish? Oh, never mind. No, not yet. Okay, I just saw the saving icon, so I think that's gonna be it for today, folks. This was so much fun. This was so much fun. I'm so excited. I love this game. This is so much fun. Alrighty. So here's the deal. Here is the deal, everyone. Ooh. Anyone? Alright, we're just gonna call it. Oh, Irish music. I will be updating my Twitch schedule. Next stream I will meet your favorite character ever. You want me to try the duel? Okay, wait. Wait. Everyone stay here. Everyone come back. You want me to try the duel? We'll try the duel just for fun. Let's go. Let's get Mail, because I trust her. No, come back. Okay. There we go. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Anyway. So, as I was saying, I will be updating my Twitch schedule, and for the next all of July, and the first weekend of August, so for the next 5 or 6 weeks, I will be streaming on Sundays, playing Claire Obscure, and I hope you can join me if you have enjoyed thus far, or maybe you can join if you haven't enjoyed, and I can convince you that you should enjoy it. So yeah, so thanks everyone. Really fun to hang out as always. I hope you have a good rest of your day or night. If I do other off-schedule streams, Wednesdays, Fridays, etc., this week, I won't have a Wednesday or a Friday or a Saturday, so I'll probably see you all next Sunday. You're not free next Sunday? I can't change the schedule now. I can't. I've already committed mentally. We can maybe play something else. No, I gotta keep going, but you'll catch up, I'm sure. So yeah, everyone, I'll see you then. But as you all know, on this channel, whenever I see you, it is a Wednesday. So I will see you next Wednesday.